What's the story, Morning Glory? What's the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of Love and Marriage DC, Episode 7, Season 1. So we are with Monique and Chris. This is Monique's first day at the radio station and Chris's first full morning with the children by himself, I guess. So Chris is running around, fixing breakfast, taking care of schoolwork, just doing all the things that a stay-at-home dad does. And, whatever, he did well. That little one, Chase, adorable and so intelligent, and his enunciation of his words and his the way he puts his sentences together. That little boy is so intelligent. He is 3 years old and he was talking like a 6 year old. It was amazing. But he kept on saying, instead of saying I, he would say me, and he said me wants pancakes. And Chris says, it's not me, Chase, you say I want pancakes. And then he says, me likes saying me. So he knew exactly what his dad was saying, but he was like, okay, I know that's the right way to say it, but I'm going to say it my way. Just so adorable. Monique has an awesome day at work. She comes home, she's tired, and she tells her husband how everything went, and then she talks about how when she was a child, she used to pretend to have her own little radio station, and look at her now. She's actually working on the radio, something that she's always wanted to do, which I had no idea that her dream was to work at a radio station. I never got that when she was on The Real Housewives of Atlanta, but whatever. And her husband is like very encouraging, very supportive. He said that he did have kind of a rough day. He was like, I don't know how you do it, but running around after 3 kids, it was a lot for me. And so she was telling him that you're going to have to plan better. Going to have to organize better, because you just can't, what did she say? You just can't, I forgot the word that she used. You just can't just expect everything's just going to come together. You're going to have to plan and organize ahead of time. And then he tells her how much that he's proud of her. He's like, look at where you're at now. And he tells his wife, I always knew that you were going to make it. I always knew that, you were going to be a success. So I'm not surprised that you are where you're at. Very supportive, encouraging, yeah, you always had it in you. This was meant for you, so on and so forth. And she was just like, yeah. I mean, I got the feeling that she really wasn't appreciative of what he was saying. Maybe she felt like, and he was using a lot of words. Okay. He was using a lot of words, like the way she wants him. She wants him to talk more and be more expressive and be deeper. But she was just like, yeah. So he's giving you what you want, Monique. What's the problem? I really hope that this show is not going to make me really, really dislike Monique. Like I said, she was one of my favorite characters on the Real Housewives of Potomac. And when she left the show, I didn't like it. I was upset about that. And I was happy that she had gotten her own show, Love and Marriage DC. So I was really looking forward to watching her. But so far, I'm a little bit disappointed in Monique. I'm disappointed in how she is as a wife. I'm a little bit disappointed on how she is as a friend. So I really hope that things are going to turn up for Monique. I don't want to end this season with me really, really not liking her like I did some of the other women on Potomac. So, Ashley, she has written a book, like a self help book. And the book is called, well, we'll get to that later. I think the book is called, no, I forgot. Okay, we'll get to that later. So she's meeting with her publisher, and she's talking to her publisher about how she had suffered from depression. She suffered from anxiety, and she's working on herself. I think she said did she go to therapy? I think she went to therapy to deal with that. And then she says that no matter how successful you are and how much of your goals you accomplish and all the wonderful things you do, there's always going to be a hater somewhere. And her hater is Winter. Winter is her roadblock, she says. The publisher asks her, what can you change about yourself? And Ashley was like, basically nothing. She was like, you know what? The goal is to know who you are and to be okay with that, and to know who you are, accept who you are, your flaws, your imperfections, and all of that, and just to be okay with that. And so Ashley comes off a little hood, but she's really, really smart. She's really smart. She's really intelligent. And I like Ashley. I like her confessionals. I like her commentary. I do like Ashley a lot. I like how she is with her husband, like as far as like really encouraging him to kind of slow down, take it easy. It ain't that crucial to be doing all these shows and make all this money, because you need to think about your health. You need to think about your family. So, I mean, I like Ashley as a whole. I really do like Ashley. And I hope that her book does well. And it's a self-help book. And I'm just like, I don't know why. I have this feeling of pride towards Ashley. Moving on. So, Irena, her and her man are doing TikTok. That was kind of cringy to watch. And then they talk about the intuitive healer. And she says to him that, look, that woman was right. You are aggressive. And when you're aggressive, you do come off as a bully. And I guess he was like, I don't know why she kept on mentioning a bulldog. And she was like, I think she was mentioning that because that's how you kind of come across, like this aggressive dog. You're very, very aggressive. And sometimes I wonder when they're using the word aggressive with Jamie, if they're trying to substitute that word for abusive. Like maybe he's verbally abusive, maybe he's emotionally abusive, the way he's always like overbearing, and not necessarily with his children, but more so maybe with her. That's what I'm wondering, if they're substituting the word aggressive for the word abusive. Because when they, in the last episode, in the previous episode 6, when they were talking about how he was yelling at her at the club or at the event for her friend's birthday party, and she was crying, she was like talking about how, you were yelling at me and the people were watching you yell at me and I didn't do anything wrong and you take everything out on me. That's another thing that they talked about, how whenever his job frustrates him, he takes it out on her. And I was like, damn. And I'm wondering if he's like maybe just like emotionally abusive. And then when she was crying, outside of that dilapidated house, and she was talking about how he was yelling at her, he was like, what did he say? He said something. He was like, dry your tears, or something like that. He wasn't at all compassionate or sympathetic or comforting at all. He was more kind of like, you need to wipe your tears. I know those tears. Oh, that's what he said. I know them tears ain't for me. I know them tears ain't for me. Like, I know you're not blaming me for what happened. And I don't know. And so he does say in this episode, while they're talking about, the intuitive healer, he does say that his dad was really, really tough. His dad was very, very tough. His dad was the kind of dad, he said, like during sports, if you fell and you hurt yourself and you were bleeding, he'd be like, you'll be all right. Get back up and, hit that ball. Like his dad didn't have any kind of like sensitivity or anything. And so I guess he was raised solely by his dad. I don't think his mom was in the picture. So there's a lot to deal with there. Monique and Ashley. So they meet up. They talk about the whole thing about balancing being wives and mothers and businesswomen and all of that. And so Ashley tells Monique that she's written a book, and the book is called Do That okay, Do That SHI. And basically it's telling you, okay, you figured out what the problem is. Now go take care of it. Go do that. Go take care of what you got to go take care of. I don't know if she meant like take care of your goals or take care of getting help for your problems, but whatever it is, it's to motivate you to get up and go do that. So Ashley in her confessional said, oh, this is where she says Monique's favorite topic is Monique, because she was talking about herself. Yeah, Monique was talking about herself. Whatever she was talking about, because I didn't really pay attention, but whatever it was all about Monique. So Monique says that Winter had made the lunch appear more combative than it actually was. So once again, Monique has to blame Winter, throw Winter under the bus and say, hey, it wasn't me. Don't get mad at me on how I told you about what happened, about what Winter told me. Don't get mad at me. That's how Winter told it to me. That's how she presented it to me. And I was just regurgitating what she told me. So then Monique says to her, yeah, and then she said something else too, and I just don't know if I should tell you, girl. And Ashley was like, no, go ahead and tell me, like, what's up? What did she say? And Monique was like, I just don't know if I should tell you, because I don't know what you're gonna say or what you're gonna do. And Ashley was like, is it gonna make me want to punch her in the face? And Monique was like, probably. And so Monique kind of like builds it up and builds it up and builds it up. And you can tell that Ashley was getting real nervous. It looked like if Monique would have said the wrong thing, Ashley was going to get up, grab her keys, grab her purse, and go straight to go find Winter, wherever the hell she was. And she was going to confront her. That's how like Ashley was looking, sitting at the edge of her seat like, oh, what did she say? What did she say? And so finally Monique tells her, she has some nicknames for your husband. And Ashley was like, okay. What's the nickname? And Monique says she called him Fun Size. And Ashley was like, oh, because he's so short? Oh, okay, whatever. So Ashley completely laughed it off. It wasn't a big deal. And you could see it in Monique, that Monique was a little bit disappointed in Ashley's reaction. She really wanted to turn the heat on Winter. She was really, because I guess she just, I mean, girl, nobody cares that you misunderstood and you misconstrued. We've all moved past that. Get over it, Monique. Okay, just get over it. But she doesn't want to let it go. She really, really, really wants to prove that, hey, don't blame me, blame Winter. So then she goes, yeah, and she's got a nickname for Jamie too. She calls him Red Light District. And I'm just like, Monique, why are you making a big deal about these dumb nicknames? Like, who cares that Winter calls these men these stupid nicknames? And so Ashley really just kind of laughed it off like it was no big deal. And what's really crazy to me is that Winter was confiding in Monique, and Monique just blasted her. Monique just completely blasted her, broke her trust, broke any kind of confidentiality. And I bet you Winter will never talk to Monique again about anything, because they were just, like I said, chopping it up like two girlfriends, like they're just gossiping like two girlfriends. And then Monique was like, well, let me tell you what Winter said. Like, Monique, why are you, anyways. Then they started speculating that maybe she's acting like this because she's going through so much with her divorce. That Winter is acting like this. Acting like what? The one who's acting kind of funny is Monique. You know, Monique, you're acting extremely immature. You're running around spreading gossip. You're talking behind your friends. You're not talking behind her back, but you're basically destroying the trust that Winter has in you. I don't know if you're just trying to be really buddy buddy with Urena and Ashley, or if you're just trying to save your own skin, and that's why you're treating Winter like this and completely breaking her trust. I have no idea. The only one acting kind of funny to me is Monique, not Winter. Moving on. So Chris and Quick, they go out to get some mani pedis. You know, they're doing their thing. They're having a spa day. And then they're talking about Quick, you know, having such a very tough exterior, and not talking about his feelings, and that he needs to do that more, which he does. And Chris was talking about how people in the black community, especially black men, need to be more open to getting therapy. He suggests to Quick, you know, because of what he dealt with as a child, you know, his parents passing away, having to not be able to cry, being told that you can't cry, you can't express your feelings, always having to put up this really tough exterior, not really being in touch with your feel, all that stuff. Chris is like, you know what, you need to consider seeing a therapist. And DJ Quick was like, nah, not really, I can handle it. Really? That's why your body's falling apart. That's why you're working yourself to death. You need to go see a therapist. Moving on from there, Ashley and Irena. So this is interesting to me. Irena wants to have more plastic surgery. And I say more because I think she had her boobs done, because her boobs look unnatural for her body. Yeah, they look good. You know, they look good, but her body is very slim. You can just tell that she had her boobs done. Okay, I'm not going to go too much into it. You can just tell that she had her boobs done. So now she wants to get a skinny BBL. And I think they called it a skinny BBL because her body is so slender that she doesn't have a lot of body fat. Okay, she's the few and the lucky. She doesn't have a lot of body fat. And so she's not going to have this big old bodacious Nicki Minaj type of butt, but it's going to be something a little bit fuller and rounder than what she already has. I saw absolutely nothing wrong with what she already has. I thought her body was almost perfect because I think she's like in her late 40s, and she's had 3 children. I mean, she looks great. She looks absolutely great. Absolutely great. She can wear anything and rock it. But maybe I feel like because her boobs are so big, it kind of is disproportionate to her butt. So she needs to like kind of even it out a little bit, I think, or something. But her body is perfect. Ashley, because Ashley was with her, Ashley said there were no lumps, no bumps, no creases, no cellulite, no crevices, no nothing. Her body was smooth and perfect and toned. It was like, well, what are you doing? You don't need that. You are beautiful the way you are. And so Irena was like, no, because I see all these women on Instagram, and even when I'm out and about, I see all these women with these perfect bodies. And Ashley was like, girl, that's nothing but fillers and a whole bunch of plastic surgery. Girl, don't compare yourself to something that's not real. You are gorgeous the way you are. And it's just this need for Irena to be perfect, because like the intuitive healer said, she needs to be perfect. She has a need to be perfect. And I wonder if any of this has to do with Jamie. Now, I commend the women who work on their bodies for themselves. And she may be one of those women. But we cannot deny the fact that she is having some issues with her husband. And I just hope and pray that she's not doing this for him, to keep him from having a wandering eye. I really hope that that's the case. Then they move on and talk about Winter. They think that there's something mentally wrong with Winter. Why? Why do y'all think that? Why do y'all think that there's something mentally wrong with Winter? What has she said that would make y'all think there was something mentally wrong with her? I don't understand. And I think that the reason why in every season of every franchise of these type of shows, Housewives, Love and Marriage, there's always someone who's going to be the scapegoat. There is always someone who's going to be the problem for the season. There's going to be someone who is going to be someone that nobody likes. They're all going to gang up against her. And this is like, what do they call those? Like an initiation or whatever. And so it happens to be Winter. I don't see that Winter has done anything wrong. And I'm beginning to wonder if they're attacking Winter because Winter is saying something about their husbands and they already feel insecure about their husbands. Moving on from that. So, Irena, so Ashley tells Irena the nicknames that Winter gave to their husbands. And when she told Irena that she calls her husband Red Light District, Irena didn't like that. Where Ashley laughed it off when she found out that Winter calls her husband Fun Size, Irena did not laugh it off when she found out that Winter calls her husband Red Light District. She really didn't like that. So she felt like she was confiding in Winter about her husband, something very, personal or whatever. And Winter now is making fun of it. She's turning it into a big fat joke. And so Irena is pissed off. So Irena wants to meet up with Winter and she wants to confront her. So they meet up for dinner. And after the small talk, Irena gets down to business. So I've been hearing you talking a lot of stuff about my husband. And so Winter's like, oh my God, here we go again. And so she's like, what do you mean? What do you mean? So Irena begins to explain to her, look, I told you something about my husband, and then you come up with this nickname and you're calling him Red Light District. And Winter was like, it was just a joke. I'm very sarcastic. I like to joke around. It was just a damn joke. It's not like she's going to go up to him and be like, oh, so nice to see you again, Red Light District. This was just like a one-time thing. And I blame Monique. Yes, there were cameras there. It was going to be on TV and they're going to find out anyway. But they want us to pretend that this is what's going on in real life. And so, Monique, your friend confided in you in something. And then you go and you and then you do it in such a salacious manner. Instead of just like, girl, he calls your husband Fun Size. No, you were like, oh, and let me tell you what she called your husband. She made it so dramatic and sound so terrible. The nickname was going to be something really salacious and just so inappropriate and horrible. Girl, Monique, girl, you're doing the most. So Irena says that it's not funny. The names that she gave to her husbands, it's just not funny. And she says to her that from now on, Winter, don't you ever mention my husband's name ever again. And then she says to her, are you mentally messed up from your divorces? And I'm like, girl, really, Irena? Really? You're going to accuse this woman of being mentally unstable because she called your husband Red Light District? That makes sense to you? She was just kikiing with her girlfriend Monique, like we all do, poking a little fun, jabbing a little fun, at y'all's husband because y'all all got man problems. And you're going to insinuate or diagnose her with having a mental health issue. Absolutely crazy. That's just wrong. I don't agree with that at all because I don't think that Winter really did anything wrong. Winter, you need to really distance yourself from Monique. And I don't know who you're going to be friends with on this show because Irena and Ashley don't like you. And all you got is Monique. And Monique is throwing you under the bus left and right. You're becoming roadkill every other day on this show. So Winter, you need to figure it out and figure it out quick if you want to stay on this show. It might be best for you just to make a smooth exit. That is my review. Thank you so much for joining me. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video. If you like this content, subscribe. If you don't like this content, don't worry about it, but thank you for stopping by anyway, and I'll definitely talk to you later. Bye.